Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, I see we have a full house tonight. Anyway, so I assume you're all here to learn more about global warming and what we can do to help reverse the serious issue that is global warming. So now, I'll open the floor to any questions. Yes, you.
This is Mike Ray from the Times. I was wondering if you could explain to me the difference between greenhouse effect and global warming.
Well, Mr. Ray, this is a pretty common question. Many people often wonder what the difference is, and it really comes down to the human impact. The greenhouse effect is the natural warming of the Earth. The sun's rays are absorbed by the Earth, thus heating the surface. This then radiates infrared radiation into the atmosphere, and is then trapped by greenhouse gases, heating the atmosphere and keeping the Earth warm. Global warming is occurring because of human interference with this system. As we add more greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, the trapping of the infrared radiation increases, and the atmosphere warms even more. Next question. Yes, you.
Carol Burnett from the Examiner. You talk about these greenhouse gases, but what are they exactly? And which do humans have the main effect on?
Ms. Burnett, the main greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, ozone, chlorofluorocarbons, and water vapor. Humans have the strongest influence on carbon dioxide. There's a reason why people are so concerned over vehicle emissions. The natural gas and oil that we burn all give off carbon dioxide, and the increased fossil fuel use has caused the levels of carbon dioxide in the past to increase almost 80 parts per million. These levels have contributed to the global temperature rise that we have seen, because more CO2 means an enhanced greenhouse effect. Next, please. Yes, you, sir.
This is Stank Flamin' from the Alabama Journal. Down south, we don't believe none of this here global warming junk. How you know it ain't natural like before?
Another very common question. Yes, Mr. Fleeman. Fleeman or Flamin? I can't quite pronounce it.
It's Flamin'.
Alright. Yes. Global warming is occurring. And no, it is not a natural increase in temperature. This particular climate change is unlike any we've ever seen before. Less heat is escaping to space. The thermosphere is shrinking. The stratosphere is cooling. The troposphere is warming. There's less oxygen and more fossil fuel carbon in the air. And there's more carbon in coral. The carbon in coral is particularly eye-opening. As evidence of more stored carbon is also evidence of more atmospheric carbon, something which does not naturally occur. As I've made clear before, this increase to atmospheric carbon accelerates the greenhouse effect warming the Earth. There's no denying the human impact on global climate change, and no avoiding the fact that humans need to change their ways to try and reverse it. Next question. Yes, you, sir.
This is Austin Rhymes from the Tennessee Inquirer. Back home, I've lost my home to the rising water. I was just curious if global warming has had anything to do with that.
Mr. Rhymes, I sympathize with you, and I give you my full support. To answer your question, global warming does in fact have an effect on extreme weather events such as flooding that has displaced you, as well as hundreds of others in your state. As temperature increases, so does the rate of evaporation, as well as the ability of the atmosphere to hold larger amounts of water. Because of the increased evaporation and the rate of water retention in the atmosphere, there's a greater likelihood that there will be extreme weather events, such as the torrential rains that were the cause of the floods that have affected your state. Next. Yes, you in the tweed jacket and bow tie.
This is Hector Winchester from BBC. Based on the evidence this far, you have me convinced that global warming does exist. But just as some final evidence, can you give me the warning signs that global warming does exist?
Mr. Winchester, I'm glad that I have you convinced. To answer your questions, there are several indicators. Most prominently, an increase in global temperature is conducted to a decrease in land ice and extreme events, as well as sea surface temperature and sea level. The world has experienced each of these in the past century. Sea level has risen roughly 10 to 20 centimeters, primarily due to thermal expansion of melting ice sheets. Mr. Rhymes can attest to the increase in extreme weather events, and the sea ice is rather self-explanatory. Think about the polar bears, Mr. Winchester. Next question. Yes, you, sir.
Josh Beggs of the Wall Street Journal. So you've made it clear that global warming is an issue. What you've not done is given examples of what we can do to prevent it in an economically feasible way.
Mr. Banks, I've been wondering will this be asked. There are a variety of things you can do, no cost to you, and which can actually target the economy. Most primarily, talk to Congress and tell them to advance renewable energies. As journalists, you all have the power. Even the people at home watching this on TV have power. Try and make your voices heard. Aside from trying to make Congress act, you can choose more energy-efficient appliances which will use less electricity and save money in CO2 emissions. Also, you can try carpooling or changing your driving style to be more energy efficient. Regardless, you will use less gas, once more saving money in emissions. It is also important to buy from local markets instead of chain superstores, because the energy used to transport the food and crops to the superstores is incredible. Your buying habits are like your votes to stores. And by buying local, you are voting for less energy use and emissions. I cannot emphasize the importance of reducing, reusing, and recycling enough. This is probably the most important thing you can do. By reducing your usage, you can decrease energy usage in production and shipping. Reusing and recycling will do the same, as recycling can save 50% or more energy than buying new. The point I'm trying to make here is that everyone has a voice and everyone can help. Plant a tree, wash your clothes only in a full load, turn the water off when brushing your teeth. No matter what, just try and reduce energy usage, because this will decrease emissions and help to slow or prevent global warming. If everyone can try and shift their lifestyles to be more renewable, we have a chance of changing this troubling trend. Thank you for your time. Yes, you in the tweed jacket and bowler hat.
This is Hector Winchester
Bowler
from
tie,
CNN.
Perhaps.
Based
Maybe a... yes, you in the tweed jacket and bow tie.
This is Hector Winchester from
When are you recording?
You ready? Alright. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So I see we have a full house tonight.